What does fire, water, and ice have in common? That question was first asked of me when I was in college. And I had heard that question asked again. I had asked my students it in school when I first started teaching in middle school. And I heard a guest speaker from an organization whose name I actually forget. I think it's Amnion, but I'm not positive. In any case, they came to the middle school I was teaching at. The school nurse organized it at the time. We're talking 22 years ago, and I heard them ask the same question. So I ask you now, what does fire, water, and sex have in common? And the answer is very simply, they're all powerful. And if you really want to get more specific, not only are they all powerful, they can all build and they can all destroy. So if you think about it with water, you have the building blocks of life. 2/3 of every cell inside of a human is made of water. Well, most cells anyway are made of water. It's essential for life. You need it to live. Some scientific theories believe that all life began in water. For that matter, most cultural perspectives, religious perspectives of creation even sees life beginning in the water in most areas. I guess some have beginning points of other places, but that's not the point. It's not about that. It's water is necessity. One of the main reasons why scientists believe that we don't find life on other planets, at least not complex life like we know it here with animals and birds and fish and things like that. Humans, of course, included with animals, is because there's no water, or at least not enough water. There's pockets of ice from time to time, but you get the idea. Liquid water is a lot difficult to find outside of this earth, but you need it for life. But it also can destroy. We think hurricanes, typhoons, the rain in general, tsunamis. It can cause cars to slip. It can cause flooding. It can cause damage to homes. It can destroy. Anybody that knows anybody that has a Jersey Shore home, when Hurricane Sandy hit, it was utter destruction that you never thought that you'd live through yourself up in this part of the country, but you do. It's dangerous. You can drown in it. It can sweep you away. It can definitely really destroy, but it also is essential for life. It can also put out fire. So fire can also destroy. We know about destruction of homes. We know about how it can burn you. We know how it can hurt you. It can evaporate water for that matter, if it's big enough. But it also helps. It forges metal objects that we need to survive. Yes, weapons, but not just weapons. It can forge the metal that is used to be able to build buildings, to be able to create cars. It cooks your food. It gives you warmth when you're cold in the winter. Like, it has its purpose to both be able to build up and to destroy. And sex is the same way. Sex, generally speaking, when the right time happens and when you're with the right person or people or whatever it is that you're deciding is right for you, it's fun. It feels good. It's enjoyable. Like, it is exciting and everything. It can also be a cause of stress. It can be tough to be able to consider. And it can also hurt you in terms of the spread of sexually transmitted diseases, unwanted pregnancies, emotional scars about issues with consent and whether you were ready or not. And it can really tear you down. Going into sex too quick and building a relationship off of that, which then we talked about last week, can lead to unhealthy relationships built on the physical and nothing more. It can be even worse than that when we talk about sexual assault and rape. So all three are very powerful. So let's not consider sexual assault and rape and think about the idea of consensual sex. And let's consider sexual decision making. In class in person, we have a lot of interactive activities involving dice, Hershey Kisses, um, moving surveys, and different things like that that really make it fun and enjoyable learning about sexual decision makings. As 11th graders, though, most of you have an idea what this means already. Whether you've made the decisions or not, you have an idea about what this means. And it really comes down to sexual decision making. And by the way, throughout this, the memes and the art on here are all student driven. They were all given to me by students in the class of 2021, back when they were juniors in my class. So June of 2020. And most of them were sent to me during the pandemic, which was exciting that they still interacted during that time so well. But in any case, sexual decision making is more than just a simple yes and no. Now, there's a whole other set of lessons having to do with consent, so we'll save them for a different day. But if you wanted to do that, you could go to the topic page and click the consent and law page. And the most important questions are, what role do I want sex to play in my life? And who am I going to be as a sexual being? And yes, we know that it's your decision. It's nobody else's decision to make. It's your decision. It doesn't mean that there won't be consequences for your decision, but it's your decision. And when you talk about SpongeBob, this memes right here. So SpongeBob holding on to his virginity, and it says society pressuring to have sex. There is this pressure that we see. Here's a Drake having sex because you feel pressured by those around you. No, having sex is a personal choice. You put thought into and feel emotionally and physically ready. And here's the guy from, I forget the name, Family Guy, nobody. And then it says, Karabi, when people say it just happened, to justify not using protection during sex. So that's a reference to a phrase I say in class a lot, like the words, it just happened, or one thing led to another, should never come out of your mouth. Regardless of whether or not you're sexually active, it just happened means that you have no self-control, okay? One thing led to another means that you weren't able to pause yourself. And some of you are like looking at me and laughing about that right now when you're saying there's no self-control. It sort of just happened. But what's that saying is that you're letting someone else make your sexual decisions for you. You're not making the sexual decisions on your own. And assuming that you have one partner, which you possibly could have more than one, or maybe you're not even in a relationship and you sort of just were hooking up, kissing for a second, and like one thing led to another kind of thing. That means that you're not making a sexual decision ahead of time. And you have to make your decisions about sex ahead of time. You have to create your boundaries. You have to create in your head a time frame of when you're going to be ready to have sex. Now, I'm not your father, so I'm not going to tell you when I think you should or should not. You have to make that decision. And your parents may be telling you that they want you to wait until you're married. Maybe they want you to wait until you're in a long-term relationship and out of school. Maybe they, I don't know. And maybe you yourself are having these decisions about, I want to wait till I'm in a long-term relationship. I want to wait till I know I love the person. I want to wait till I think that the person and I are in love together. I want to wait till I'm married. I want to wait till I'm out of college. I want to wait till I'm in college. I want to wait till I find the right person. These are all different waiting things, right? But there's also the person, even at your age, that says, I want to do it because it's fun. And, and I don't really put so much stock into who it's with. It's about, I'm going to do it when I feel like doing it, and I want to be able to do it. So we have to talk about safety in terms of contraception and protection from STDs and things like that in a future topic. But in terms of actual sexual decision making, if that's a sexual decision making that you're going to make, then you have to decide how fast you're going to move and how fast you're going to allow certain things to happen. All in all, you have to decide your boundaries. And as the brain drawing said that my students gave me last year, it's your decision, but you have to make that decision with your brain and not just because it feels good in the moment. So it just happened, and one thing led to and leads to the other should never come out of your mouth. There are many, many factors involved in sexual decision making. It's not just a simple yes or no. So let me make this complex for you. And I was young once, a really long time ago. I understand that this isn't going to be the same for everybody. I don't know why this is so like when it comes to, I don't know. I'll just go like this. So right in this section here, we need to go and we need to speak about, excuse me, we need to speak about sexual decision making. So here we go. What do we got? We have, am I ready? When is the right time for me? Am I going to wait? What does wait mean to me? To find the right person, until I'm older, until I'm finished school, until I'm married. I kind of said these things already. What are my personal boundaries? When am I going to be ready? Am I going to have casual sex, or is it only going to be while I'm in a relationship? Is sex a starting point to say I'm in a relationship, or is it something that you build up to while you're in a relationship? That's a biggie nowadays. Am I going to wait to have sex, and what does wait mean to me? Although I already said that, until I find the right partner, until I'm older, until I get out of school, until I'm serious relationship, until I'm married. Is sex a special act involving love and emotions, or is it only for physical pleasure? No big deal. What is my sexual orientation, aka what type of parts will my partners have, or do I have no preference? Am I going to have sex casually and with multiple partners, or with only special people? A lot of these I have to repeat. I have to fix this because some of these are the same questions over and over. Am I even interested in participating in sexual activity right now at all? And those are all really big decisions that you have to make. And that's what it basically comes down to. So for the 2 lessons this week and a couple next week involving actual sexual decision making, those are the kinds of things we're going to focus on. There are some videos that we're going to watch. There's one we're going to watch in class called All Falls Down from Scenarios USA. It's really, really good. There is an article here about the sexual double standard on adolescent peer acceptance. There's an article talking about good news for parents. Teens in general are delaying having sex, which statistically speaking, a lot of you are delaying in having sex more so than when I was your age. Real talk about losing your virginity, some other videos. And then there's a thing down here. This is a poem that was written by one of our students last year. I just want to end this video sharing with you. You're ready when you are, not when they tell you. Whether if it's yes or it's no, be sure to communicate. Once you agree and it all comes together, be sure to use protection or it will turn to bad weather. So with that said, I just want to be able to give this opportunity to be able to remind you that sexual decision-making is your decision. It's nobody else's decision. You should be influenced by multiple people, places, and things in your life to be able to make their sexual decisions, but ultimately, you're the one that has to make the decision. Don't let your partners make the decision for you. All right, have a great rest of your day. See you later.